Have you been thinking about getting dairy goats and have no idea what to do to start milking them? Or maybe you have dairy goats already and now it's time to start milking them and you're like, wow, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Well, folks, that's what we're here to show you today, so make sure you stay tuned. Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Cattywampus Acres. My name is Jason, the milkman, and what I'm here to do today is to show you how to milk goats. It's going to be an awesome, easy process. I'm just going to walk you through the steps so you can be confident in knowing what to do when you start milking your dairy goats. Well, where am I? I am in our milk barn. This is a small 8x8 shed that I got for very cheap and set it up, and we have a pop door behind me that will open up to the goat area, and we will let some dairy goats in, hopefully one that is in milk, or else we're gonna have to go out there and grab one. So step one is having a goat milking area that is convenient for you, your farm, your homestead. Now the next thing we have here is our milking stand. I welded this up out of steel. Very, very simple setup. It's got a rubber mat on top so it can easily be washed off. I have a milk crate that I sit on. You could certainly have yourself some little fancy milking stool. This is what we use. And we just go until one breaks and then we get another one. With our milk stand, there just has to be a way to grab their neck. We have full-size and miniature dairy goats, as you will see today. And so we need a way to be able to hold both of them, and so that's what we do. Well, what this is a hang-on feed container, and I can either set it back over there, or when the miniatures are in, I can put it right there, and that's what we'll do. Next thing is going to be grain, or goat feed. This goat feed we use is made by a feed company local to us, and it's got some corn and some oats, and some black oil sunflower seeds, and it's got also has some pellets in here for protein. I'm also going to sprinkle some goat mineral in here so you can make sure they're getting plenty of vitamins and minerals, and make sure your goats are getting copper as well. The most important thing of this whole process is a goat. So let's see if we can get one of the girls to come through the door here. Need one. Not you. You'll work. All right, Jolene is our first candidate. Jolene is certainly the spiciest of all the goats, so it's perfect that she come in here. Well, Jolene has a small udder. She is a Nigerian dwarf, and she's on the smaller end, and her teats are very small, which make it very hard for me to milk by hand. I can do it, and I have done it, but I'm going to show you realistically how I like to do it. With Jolene, or a goat Jolene's size, you would definitely want to use something like a jar, because our 1 gallon milk container is not going to fit underneath her. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to use our milk machine, and I will explain this later how this works, but I'm going to just show you the setup. First things first, we got to clean our udder. While I'm cleaning our udder, I will squeeze out just a little bit of milk so we can get sort of that first bit of milk out of the way. Call it wasting. Next thing I'm going to do, turn on my setup, check my vacuum, looking okay. Jolene's a pro at this, so she doesn't need much help at all. And the milk is flowing. This is how our milker works. Works pretty awesome. Like I said, at another time, I will walk through this whole milking system. We did a video on it, but we certainly get a lot of questions about the different pieces and parts. Now, a vacuum milking system like I'm using right now, if you have multiple goats, and especially have full-time jobs like we do, this certainly makes everything so much easier when it comes to getting your milking done prior to leaving for work or wherever you may be going. Speeds the process up a whole lot. All right, we've got her all milked out. What we use after a milking is this stuff right here. It's called Fightback, and you can also do an iodine dip. It's highly recommended to prevent mastitis. I've had some comments before, like they didn't have that spray, 100 years ago. Why did their goats not get infected? Well, I can tell you this. I don't know. I am not a scientist. I am not a doctor. I am not a veterinarian. But we have had 2 goats that have had mastitis before, and E. coli. One of them got E. coli, and it almost killed them. And so I will take full blame for that. They are both, neither one of them died, but I will take full responsibility for that in saying that it had to do with the milking process. And what happens is after we milk out a goat, their orifice down here where the milk comes out, what happens is it's open now, and so you have to sort of have something to take care of that opening and sort of clean it off and protect it from any kind of bacteria. So we just hit it with a little bit of this. This has been working great, but iodine dips will work good as well. Peyton is in here next, also Nigerian dwarf. She is a little bit bigger than Jolene, but Peyton does not provide us a lot of milk. She makes very small babies, and her milking, her like udder genetics are just not great. Her twin sister Tina, phenomenal. But we're gonna try and milk her right now. Same process. Clean it off. Hook up our inflations. Spray. Good to go. And here, folks, we have Opal, and it was almost like perfect timing, almost like I called them in. They have a pecking order, just like chickens and every other animal do. And that's the order that they come in the barn here. This time I'm going to show you how to hand milk, okay? And certainly when you are milking, you want to start out by inspecting the udder. I do notice her udder's a little dry. This is her first milking by us. She's had her babies for a couple weeks now. And so the nice thing about these wipes that we use, they also have some vitamin E and lanolin in them to help sort of moisturize the goat's udder. There's also many udder creams that you can use as well. So we know our udder's clean. Going to use our stainless steel milk jug. And another thing I want to mention too is you want to make sure that you're paying attention to what the milk looks like. If you're seeing yellow or it looks like the goat's in pain, you definitely don't want to drink that, and you want to stop and figure out if that goat has mastitis, because that could be an infection. Looks good. Looks good. Okay, and before I fail to mention it, Opal here is a American La Mancha. And so they are a full-size dairy goat breed, and as you can see, she has a phenomenal udder. She can give us up to a gallon a day, which is pretty awesome. So I'm going to go down here to her udder. This, folks, is her udder. This is an udder half, and this is an udder half. This is a teat. This is a teat. And down here, this is her orifice. The orifice is where the milk comes out. So what you want to do is wrap your hand around here, just a thumb and index finger, and squeeze down like that. And so essentially what you're doing is, imagine you have a balloon in your hand and you're pinching off the milk and squeezing it down in there. You can either roll your fingers like that, or you can just sort of use the first couple fingers and squeeze it down in there. Pretty cool, huh? You can either do one hand like I'm doing now, or you can do 2 hands at the same time. This is how I would do 2 hands. Some people think you gotta go alternating. It doesn't matter. When these baby goats are under here, they just go at it. Another thing you'll notice is that when the baby goats nurse, they butt their heads up under here. And why are they doing that? That is what causes the milk to fall from the udder down into the teat. So it's milkable. So occasionally, you'll see me give it a little hit like that, and that is how we get more milk to fall. Now, can I milk her on the milking machine? Yes, but I'm going to show you why we typically choose to hand milk her, but she doesn't really like the milk machine, but we'll see. We'll give it a try since you guys are on camera. We'll keep it as real as possible here. I'm definitely going to have to lock her head in for this. I will mention these inflations I use are called the Nigerian inflations, and they work for full-size and miniature dairy goats. That's why I like these ones the best. surprisingly enough, she's not freaking out too bad. If you have arthritis or very big hands and a small goat, this milking setup is definitely the way to go. This milking setup actually simulates with the pulsator what it's like when the babies are drinking off of them. And we can milk out a big goat like Opal here in, oh geez, a minute, 2 minutes max. If you had a goat or an animal with very large teeth, you'd want to get the larger milk inflations on here. And like I said, in another video, I will fully explain this whole milking setup. But today we're just learning how to milk goats. Still give them a little squeeze to make sure we're getting everything. I definitely try to strip all the milk out of the udder. It's like budgeting with money. If you don't use it all, you're going to have less the next time you get it. All right, we have Opal all milked out, so let me show you. This is what the teat will probably look like when you're done. See, it sort of looks like deflated, and yeah, that's how it works. If you watch the babies drink off of them, that's how it'll look when they're done. But you can tell we've gotten all the milk out because everything's all deflated here. Well, do you remember the last step we need to do before we send her back out? That's right. Clean it off, sanitize it. Here we go. And with our milking setup, the way I finish out is I will take off our lid, pour out our milk into our milk jug, close that off so we don't lose any of that beautiful white gold. And finally, the last thing I do is, because now we have milk all inside of our lines and stuff, so you may ask, well, how do we keep that clean? Well, I'm going to show you. Right here, I have a bucket of soapy water and a bucket of water with some bleach in it. I will turn my pump on, get the vacuum up, I'll put it in the soapy water, open up my lines down here, and suck a bunch of soapy water in. So we're cleaning all that milk out of there, and I can see it going into my jug. And I'll go into the bleach water, same thing. Get the air in there, just like that. So at the end here, we have a jug of soap and bleach water. I'm going to show you too something pretty cool. This filter inside of here. So check that out. There is a little bit of dirt on there, not too crazy. Sometimes you'll see some hair and stuff in there. But this is how these filters work. It's pretty amazing. And we will take this jug back inside to rinse it out and get it all cleaned up for tomorrow's milking. So many of you are going to say, well, Jason, I do not want to use a milking machine, or I cannot afford it. That's perfectly okay. Just remember, this water with a little bit of bleach in it, you can certainly find recipes for a sanitizing solution online, is going to be the way you clean all of your stuff. So certainly soap and water works very good, but ultimately hitting it with the water with a little bit of bleach in it, and then water is super hot, will sanitize all your stuff. So you're good to go for the next time. You don't have a bunch of bacteria living in there. Then about once a week or every few milkings, we will take this whole tube system off and take it inside and clean it. Let's go check on everybody for the day, and then I'm going to give you a little quiz at the end to test your milking knowledge. You guys recognize this dude? Look at Kevin. That guy's growing. And look at Tango, also growing, and he is an absolute psychotic maniac. What's going on over here, folks? Francine, Quag, Luna, everybody looking good. Got Miyagi, Rod just hiding back there. Apparently they want to go see Fiona and Leroy, so let's go check them out. Leave it! Yesterday, I trimmed Fiona's hooves, and what do you think that they're eating? They are definitely eating hooves. All right, pieces of hoof. Check you guys out. Gross, leave it! Oh my gosh. It's like kids trying to get candy. Well, here they are. Fiona looking lovely with some new freshly trimmed hooves, looking good. Look at this guy. You guys recognize little Leroy? It's been a few weeks since we did a video, and Leroy is growing. Isn't that right, buddy? Bojangles, always best friends. And Buford. Look at this little guy. He is so stinking cute. Thinks he's the fastest creature on earth. We almost have the backyard fenced in, and so he's going to be going out there very soon. They like sticks, so we'll let them do their thing. Kevin completed his training process, and so now we just work with him all the time to make sure he knows his commands and stuff. And of course, babies are reunited with mamas after the milking, and then that's when we can either supplement with milk or just let them have milk and share with them for the second half of the day. Several of these little babies are ready to be weaned anyways. Baruka, you coming to say hi? Hey, Laurel. Look at you. You are just sweet. And we think Laura might be bred now from Roger. We'll see. All right, everybody ready for your quiz? What is the bag that hangs off the goat's belly? That is the udder, correct. What is the part that you squeeze at the bottom of the udder where the milk finally comes out? That is the teat. You're correct. What is the name of the hole where the milk specifically comes out of? That is the orifice. You are also correct. Y'all did so good. What I'm going to do right now is put a series of videos right here that you can check out where we talk all about goats. But other than that, guess we'll see you guys next time. Homestead Home Fed from the Milkman. We're out of here.